Davis was cheering on the Boston Marathon with her husband, Adam Davis, who had just returned from service in Afghanistan, when one of the bombs blasts sent them reeling. This is so difficult for me just to see this beautiful girl. Adam was left with severe shrapnel injuries, but Adrianne, a professional dance instructor, had her foot shattered, and doctors were forced to amputate. They're here now to share their story via satellite from the Spaulding Rehabilitation Hospital in Boston. Please welcome Adrianne Davis. I'm a beautiful child. I almost don't know what to say to you when I see you sitting like that, except, how are you? What is your frame of mind? How are you coping?
Hello, Barbara. Thank you for having me. I'm coping by having such wonderful friends and family around me and making sure that I'm surrounding myself with positive people and amazing therapists, and just trying to work through day by day and not trying to rush any of my day-to-day therapies.
And eventually they'll give you a prosthetic?
Yes, eventually they'll give me a prosthetic. So right now I'm learning how to shape my gauze and work on the swelling going down. Once that happens, I'm going to be given a shaping sock, which will help shape my leg to better fit the prosthetic. Right now it's just very angry muscles and very angry calf and very swollen, as you can see.
Tell me about your husband, because he came back from Afghanistan and he was wounded in the marathon. How is he doing?
He was. Thank you for asking. He's doing okay. He has a nurse coming to him every day and checking on his injuries. He suffered severe shrapnel to both his feet and his, all over his legs, but mostly his lower legs. And he's doing okay. He has about a golf ball size part missing from his top of his right foot. So he's working on making sure he's nursing that, and we're both just taking it, like I said, really easy and trying to take it day by day.
And Adrianne, it's Elizabeth here. We're so thankful you're here with us today. Are you seeing each other every day, you and your husband? Is that something you get to do?
It is, and I'm very thankful for that. The last Boston Medical Center where I was, he was dismissed a little bit earlier than I was. Obviously, I had a more severe injury than he did, and they were wonderful in letting him stay in my room, even though he wasn't a patient there, and let him stay, and we were able to spend the evenings together and spend each day together. Now that I'm at Spaulding, they're wonderful with visiting, and he's here as soon as I'm done with my therapy every day.
You know,
To eat dinner together.
I love seeing you, that face and that smile, but I wish I could hug you. I wish this went by satellite.
Oh, thanks. I wish so too.
Can you tell us what happened that day and when you knew how badly you were wounded? Tell us, you're standing watching the marathon. And
yeah, absolutely. I was, my husband and I were out watching the marathon. We were just taking a lazy, what you would normally call Sunday, but Monday, because we had the day off. He had just returned from Afghanistan just about 2.5 weeks prior, and we were shopping and going along the marathon route, and then popping back into stores, and then watching the marathon and just sort of walking along Boylston. And all of a sudden, the first bomb went off, and we both looked at each other and knew that it wasn't just fanfare or confetti bomb or anything that was fun. We knew that it was an attack, and we both just hugged each other. And then all of a sudden, I started screaming, knowing that couldn't just be one bomb. And the second bomb went off, and we both remember everything. We were knocked off our feet and landed together, thankfully, and we both thought we weren't wounded at first. I thought I was fine, and the moment that we sat up and looked at each other and said, "Oh, I think I'm fine," and then I went to move my feet just to get the heck out of there because it was so scary. I said, "I think there's something wrong with my foot," and he grabbed my leg and looked at it, and my entire ankle was missing. And right at that moment, I knew that, I thought that my life was over.
Adrianne,
Yes.
you actually, you did for a moment think that that might have been your last moment. But I have to say, you have a remarkable attitude and way about you. You have vowed to dance again. You actually said you're going to try to run Boston again next year. I know Dancing with the Stars has asked you to be a part of their program, I believe, tomorrow, and I know you'll be there at least in heart, but you are a wonderful, wonderful soul, we have to say, and you will run Boston strong. I have no doubt about it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Adrianne, at first you hadn't known that you'd lost your foot. And it was your mother who told you?
Yeah, I do. I woke up from surgery and my mom was right there, and I was so excited to see both my parents, and I was so excited to see them because as far as I knew, and only an hour had passed. I didn't know it was already the next day. I'd been under anesthesia and surgery, and I looked at my mom and I said, "Can you help me move my foot or my leg?" And feel like I was falling asleep, and she looked at me, and she didn't know that I didn't know. She had already assumed that doctors had told me, but she looked and said, "Adrianne, you don't have a foot." And I lost it, and I think I threw a couple of water bottles or something that was near me and screamed and started hitting my legs and started bawling and crying, and both my parents came over and hugged me, and it was so hard to hear, but I wouldn't have wanted to hear it from anybody else or have anybody else there. That my family is really strong. My brother just flew in today, and my other brother flies in tomorrow. My family's really tight, and I can't imagine hearing it from anybody else. But it was, no matter who told me, it was impossible to hear.
Well, we're talking to you now, and I'm looking at that beautiful face and hearing you. We can only hope that you get better and better. I know you want to dance again, and you probably will. And we thank you for being on with us, and please give our best to your husband.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Just seeing you, I mean, is an inspiration to everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. So...